Hello guys, how is it going? I think we're live. So yeah, another day. 別の日。378日連続。And yeah, as always, like 決して止まらない。いつでも続ける。Okay. KM today is not here, so I already have this presentation about Kypros no tabemono, which one day, maybe by the end of the lesson, we just presented quickly, and another day we presented with KM. But for now, let's just do Tokini Andy, okay? Maybe we do Tokini Andy, and by the end of the lesson, should we present it in the end of the lesson? I don't know, I'm not sure. Let's just finish it 30 minutes. And if we feel it, if I feel good, we do it. But for now, let's just watch 30 minutes of Tokini Andy.
Give a present as ore, as a gift, right? Something. 何か。oreのプレゼントをすべきだよ。You should give a present of something.
何かあったんだ?
So, your friend's in trouble. You're gonna have to imagine your friend being in trouble here. Give him some advice.
No.
Alright, so moving on to the next section, we've got it's not always the case with toa kagiranai. Before we get started with this, I just want to mention that this is actually not the next section in the book. Before this section comes kara toite. But I pushed this one up first because toa kagiranai shows up all of the time in the kara toite section. So I felt like it made way more sense to explain with what toa kagiranai does before we go into the grammar point that uses it all the time. That just made more sense to me. I don't know what you guys think. Made more sense to me. So I pushed this one up one section and we moved kara toite after. Just wanted to point that out really quickly.
Okay.
So, toa kagiranai means it's not always the case that something. Meaning that something, so what comes before toa kagiranai is something that maybe you would expect to be true. But we're saying
toa
that's not always the case.
It confused me when I was reading it.
We just take a verb in any short form, so past, negative, present tense, any short form, and teiru, any of that, and add toa kagiranai. You can, of course, say toa kagirimasen.
It's not always the case.
Like it's fine, but toa kagiranai. It is not always the case that. E-adjectives are just left on their own. Toa kagiranai. Non-adjectives, we need to add da, toa kagiranai. And noun da, toa kagiranai. The da, I believe, though, is optional. Da is optional. Sweet. So let's go ahead and jump into some example sentences to see how this is used. We've got 100円寿司はいつも美味しいとは限りません. It's not always the case that 100 yen sushi is always delicious. Now, one word that is very frequently used with toa kagirimasen is itsumo. So itsumo means always, and toa kagirimasen means it's not always the case. So it's like a double always. But there's also like what was that other one? Kanarazushimo. Is that the one? Yeah. Kanarazushimo, which is used with negatives, which means without fail. Itsumo, always, and minna, everyone. These are words that are commonly used with toa kagiranai, so it's not always the case that everyone, or it's not always the case that always, or it's not always the case that this always happens, right?
So 100円、
right? So
100円寿司はいつも美味しいとは限りません. It's not always the case that 100 yen sushi is always delicious. 100円寿司はいつも美味しいとは限りません.
Toa kagiranai, so it's not always the case that everyone, or it's not always the case that always.
Okay.
It's not always the case that this always happens, right? So those are some common words that are used. We've got itsumo. It's not always the case that it's always
Itsumo
delicious.
is always
100 yen sushi. It usually is, though, in my experience. Not all the places, but most of the ones I've gone to were pretty decent.
100円寿司は いつも美味しいとは限りません。
100円寿司はいつも美味しいとは限りません。So it's not foreshadowing. It's very common with とは限りません。気持ちはゆっくり休みたいけど、できるとは限らない。So, as for how I feel, 気持ちは as for how I feel, ゆっくり休みたいけど、I want to take it easy, but できるとは限らない。That doesn't necessarily mean that I can, or it's not the case that I am able to. So what is being said here is, yes, I want to take some time off, and you'd think that I could, or
気持ちはゆっくり休みたいけど、できるとは限らない。
Next sentence is,
Wait, so, as for how I feel, 気持ちはゆっくり休みたいけど、できるとは限らない。As for how I feel, 気持ちはI want to take it easy, ゆっくり休みたいけど、that doesn't necessarily mean that I can. できるとは限らない。
But it doesn't mean I can. できるとは限らない。Next sentence is, イケメンだからといって、性格も良いとは限らない。Just because he's good looking. イケメン means good looking for men. イケメンだからといって、からといって is going to be in the next section, and it means just because he's good looking. 性格も良いとは限らない。That doesn't mean
性格も良いとは限らない。
That he has a good personality. 性格も良い or that he also has a good personality. 性格も良いとは限らない。
いつも私がお菓子を持っているとは限らないよ。
It's not always the case that I am carrying snacks. This is another Yuki sentence, and 違うと思うよ。
Just because he's good looking doesn't mean that he has a good personality. Wait, again.
So, 言うとは性格も良い is イケメンだからといって性格も良いとは限らない。So, just because he's good looking, イケメン means good looking.
イケメン。イケメンだからといって。
イケメンだからといって。This からといって is going to be in the next section.
性格 is personality.
And it means just because he's good looking. 性格も良いとは限らない。
That doesn't mean that his personality is also good. Okay, so 性格 is personality.
So that's the とは限らない。That he has a good personality. 性格も良い or that he also has a good personality. 性格も良いとは限らない。
いつも私も
We've got another いつも
私がお菓子を持っているとは限らないよ。
It's not always the case that I am carrying snacks. This is another Yuki sentence, and 違うと思うよ。いつも持ってるでしょう。持ってないのか。I think she's always carrying snacks, but
いつも私がお菓子を持っているとは限らないよ。It's not always, it's いつも it's not always the case that I carry snacks. I am carrying snacks. 持っている。
I guess. Okay. いつも持っているとは限らないかな。It's not always the case that she's carrying snacks. Alright, いつも仕事がうまくいくとは限りません。It's not always the case that work will always go well. いつも仕事がうまくいく will go well. とは限りません。It's not always the case. やりたくないからやらなくてもいいとは。
いつも仕事がうまくいくとは限りません。It's not always the case that the job, that the work will always go well.
いくとは限りません。It's not always the case that work will always go well. いつも仕
事がうまくいくとは限りません。
とは限りません。It's not always the case.
やりたくないからやらなくてもいいとは限らない。
This is one that I used to use with kids in. I didn't use 限らない with the kids. I used わけない. We'll see わけではない in the next section からといって a bit. But it's very similar to とは限らない。とは限らない。It's a little less formal, I feel like. わけではない or わけがない or わけない. Kids use わけない quite a bit, so they understand that more than とは限らない I feel like. So I used to say やりたくないからやらなくてもいいわけないよ。
やりたくないからやらなくてもいいとは限らないよ。Just because you don't want to やりたくないから doesn't mean it's okay to not do it. やらなくてもいいとは限らない。
Just because you don't feel like doing it or you don't want to do it doesn't mean that you don't have to. So that's a very important lesson to learn in life. Just because you don't want to doesn't mean you don't have to. やりたくないからやらなくてもいいとは限らない。All right, let's jump into the dialogue. I'll read it slowly once and at full speed, then we'll break it down together and get to question time.
新しい言葉を使ったって正しく使えるとは限らないでしょ。まあ、そうだけど、直してあげるよ。本当いいよ。ありがとう。いつも気づくとは限らないけど。
Right, full speed, short one.
新しい言葉を使ったって
正しく使えるとは限らないでしょ。まあ
そうだけど
直してあげるよ。
本当いいよ。ありがとう。いつも気づくとは限らないけど。
新しい言葉を使ったって。
新しい言葉を使ったって。
I used
new word.
So this is a very shortened version of the next section, which is going to be karatoite, just because. Very shortened up.
正しく使える。
正しく
使える。
I can use it properly. 正しく使えるとは限らないでしょ。
正しく使える。
It's not always the case that I can use it properly, right? でしょ。
正しく means proper way, correct way, correctly. 正しく使えるとは限らないでしょう。Just because I use it in new words doesn't mean it's not the case that I'm using it properly or correctly.
正しく使える。I can use it properly. 正しく使えるとは限らないでしょ。
Properly.
It's not always the case that I can use it properly, right? でしょ。まあそうだけど。Yeah, but. 直してあげるよ。I'll correct it for you.
本当いいよ。
Sure. ありがとう。
ありがとう。いつも気づくとは限らないけど。
I won't be able to notice all the time, or I probably won't be able to, or it might not be the case that I will notice 気づく all the time, though. That kiddo is being used like a though at the end of it. Question time.
あなたの周りでいつもそうとは限らないものを説明してください。
冷蔵庫の中に
あなたの周りでいつもそうとは限らないもの説明してください。
食べたいものがあるとは限らない。トイレットペーパーが
いつもあるとは限らない。電車はいつも同じ時間に来るとは限らない。
The question is, あなたの
周りでいつもそうとは限らないものを説明してください。
That means, what is
説明する means to explain, of
something
course.
around you that is not always the case. So it's not always the case. Please explain that to us. So the first sentence was 冷蔵庫の中
にいつも食べたいものがある
とは限らない。It's not always the case that something I want to eat いつも食べたいものがある。That we have something I want to eat in the refrigerator. 冷蔵庫の中に。The second one was
トイレットペー
パーがいつもあるとは限らない。It's not always the case that we have toilet paper all the time. 電車はいつも同じ時間に来るとは限らない。It's not always the case that the train comes all the time at the same time. So what's something around you that is not always the case, though you might expect it to be the case. All right, guys, let's go.
私のポケットはいつもお金があるとは限らない。
That is not always the case, though you might expect it to be the case. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on to just because with. We've already done a little bit of it. からといって. So からといって, as we said earlier, means just because something. Just because something. And it's very often combined with ending phrases like とは限らない or 手はいけない、so
手はい
must
けない。
not do, or わけではない。わけではない actually doesn't show up until chapter 6 of this textbook, but it means something very similar to とは限らない。It doesn't mean that something is okay or something is.
な المنطقة
the case. わけではない. So this is very commonly combined with those. Not always, but it is always followed by a negative. What comes after からといって is always going to be a negative. Commonly combined with those.
からといって means just because.
So からといって as we said earlier, means just because something. Just because something. And it's very often combined with ending phrases like とは限らない or 手はいけない so must not do, or わけではない. わけではない actually doesn't show up until chapter 6 of this textbook, but it means something very similar to とは限らない. It doesn't mean that something is okay or something is the case. わけではない. So this is very commonly combined with those. Not always, but it is always followed by a negative. What comes after からといって is always going to be a negative. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is how we use it. We use a verb in its short form, any short form, just like とは限らない. We have any short form, so past tense, ている, anything like that. And からといって followed by something. So just because this something is not necessarily the case. E adjectives immediately followed by からといって. Na adjectives require だ からといって 6 of this textbook, but it means something very similar to とは限らない. It doesn't mean that something is okay or something is the case. わけではない. So this is very commonly combined with those. Not always, but it is always followed by a negative. What comes after からといって is always going to be a negative. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is how we use it. We use a verb in its short form, any short form, just like とは限らない. We have any short form, so past tense, ている, anything like that. And からといって followed by something. So just because this something is not necessarily the case. E adjectives immediately followed by からといって. Na adjectives require だ からといって. And nouns also require だ からといって. Okay. Now, there are some shortened versions of this. One is からて. So in conversation, the といて is often shortened to just the, the short conversational. というて. So からて. And in some situations, like in one of the sentences way back in the dialogue from, maybe it was the last section, I guess, I just had て is often understood to mean からといって in conversation. So let's jump into some example sentences. We have
年を取ったからといって
大人になったとは限らない。
大人になったとは限らない。Just because one aged.
年を取った。
年を取った。to age.
年を取る means to age. So just because one aged.
年を取ったからといって。
年を取ったからといって。
大人になったとは限らない。Doesn't mean he became an adult. 大
人になったとは限らない。It doesn't mean that they became an adult.
You have to mature your brain. No.
Very, very true, isn't it? Just because one aged doesn't mean they became an adult. So you can see how it's very useful to combine からといって with とは限らない。Just because doesn't mean it's the case that.
大人になったとは限らない。
Full meaning. Otherwise, it's just because this.
お客さんだからといって。
But the とは限らない とは限らない a big
スタッ
part
フ
of
に
that I didn't necessarily
悪い態度
what's
を
coming before とは
取って
限らな。
はい
とは
取ってはい
限らない
けない。
is probably going to be something that you would expect to be true or that someone, the listener, expects to be true. And you're saying, yeah, just because you think that, it's not always the case that that's true. So Quartet puts it as a partial negation. So that's why it's not always used with からといって, but it is very frequent if you want to add that nuance of, just because one age, you would think they'd become an adult, but that's not always the case. Not always the case. All right, next section.
お客さんだからといって、
お客さんだからといって、
お客さんだからだ
just because someone is a
から
customer,
といって、
スタッフ
スタッフに悪い態度を取っていけない。
does
取って
not
は
give
いけ
them
な
a
い。
good enough reason to have a bad attitude towards.
お客さんだからといって、just because someone is a customer。スタッフに悪い態度を取ってはいけない。
Staff 取ってはいけない。I don't know if I translated this good enough. It probably should have been スタッフに悪い態度を取ってはいけない。Just because someone is a customer doesn't mean, no, doesn't give them an excuse. It should have been they must not be rude or have a bad attitude towards staff. It's more of a they must not. てはいけない。So sorry about that. That translation could have been better. They must not have a bad attitude towards staff. Although in reality, I feel like it would be better to say doesn't give them a good enough reason to have a bad attitude towards staff. So, 取らない方がいい might have been better here. I'm not sure. Anyway, it is what
取
it
ってはい
is.
けな
They
い。
shouldn't have a bad attitude towards staff just because they're customers. All right, next one. 会社では
上司だからといって
仕事ができるとは
できるとは
So just because someone is your
限らない。
superior doesn't mean they're able to do their job. That is especially true here.
会社では上司だからといって仕事ができるとは限らない。Just because someone is your superior, 会社では上司だ is a superior. Doesn't mean 仕事ができるとは限らない。
Here. That's true everywhere. 会社では上司だから。So at your company, 上司 is someone above you, your superior. だからといって、just because they are your superior. 仕事ができるとは限らない。Doesn't mean they can do their job. 仕
事ができるとは限らない。
Good at their work or whatever. 仕事ができるとは限らない. Doesn't mean that they can do that. You'll notice that all of our sentences so far have a negative in the second part, right? That's very important. できないからといって、just because you can't do it, すぐにやめていいとは限らない。
できないからといって、just because you can't do it, できないからといって、すぐに諦めていいとは限らない。
Doesn't mean it's okay
to give up
right away. Or
すぐに諦めていいとは限らない。
doesn't mean it's always the case that you can give up right away.
Right away, すぐ。
Doesn't mean that it's always the case or always okay to give up right away. できないからといって、just because you can't do it. Doesn't mean you should always give up. 仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。Just because you can't find work, don't give up.
Don't give up. 仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。
諦めないで is the negative te form in sort of a polite command. It's don't give up. 諦めないで. So you can have negatives like this after からといって as well. This is the conversational short form of からといって。
仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。
仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。
仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。
Just because you can't find work, so maybe they said to you, I can't find work, I think I'm gonna give up. いや、仕事が見つからないからって諦めないで。Let's jump into the dialogue.
そういえば、新しい言葉をどうやって、そういえば、新しい言葉をどうやって学べばいいかな。勉強でしょ。勉強か。勉強は嫌だな。勉強が嫌だからってしなくていいのかな。やっぱ本読もうかな。
どうしたの？
なんでもない。
Alright, full speed. そういえば
新しい言葉はどうやって学べばいいかな。
勉強でしょ。
勉強か。
勉強は嫌だな。勉強が嫌だからってしなくていいのかな。やっぱ本読もうかな。どうしたの？
なんでもない。
Alright, so let's break this down together.
そういえば means speaking of which, yeah, そういえば。
Speaking of which.
新しい言葉をどうやって学べばいいかな。
So 学べばいい、どうやって学べばいい
Manabu means to
So
learn
what
or
would
something.
be a good way
To learn.
to study.
Study. 学ぶ
ど
means
うやって学べばいい Not to study. To learn.
to learn. Yeah,
new
yeah,
words.
to learn.
新し
Manabu to learn. Oh, he confused me, man.
い言葉を So that's a direct object. New words. どうやって学べばいいかな I wonder what is a good way to learn new words. 勉強でしょ
勉強でしょ
Study, right? 勉強か。
勉強か。
Studying.
勉強は嫌だ。
勉強は嫌だな。
嫌だな。
I don't like studying or I dislike studying. 勉強が
勉強が嫌だからっ
しなくて
て
いいのか
しなく
な
ていいのかな
Just
because you hate
don't like
studying
or you hate studying.
It doesn't mean
Does that mean you don't have to? Says Yuki. やっぱ本読もうかな Yeah, it's expected. I think I'll read. I think. Yeah, it's expected to. Says Yuki. I wonder or I forget. Does that mean you don't have to? Says Yuki. やっぱ本読もうかな Yeah, it's expected. I think I'll read. I think. Dot dot dot. Yuki's little flustered here because I was talking about how much I hated reading earlier. どうしたの What's wrong? なんでもない Nothing. Don't worry about it. Alright. Question time. This is a complicated one, so I will be breaking it down, but listen closely and see if you can pick it up before I break it down in English. 周りの人からのあなたの国の印象があるからといって正しいとは限らないことを教えてください。I'm gonna read that one more time. 周りの人からのあなたの国の印象
Wait, 周り means the people around you?
教えてください。I'm gonna read that one more time.
周りの人からの
あなたの国の印象があるからといって正しいとは限らないことを教えてください。So let's give some examples.
日本だからといって日本人全員がアニメを見ているとは限らない。アメリカ人だからといってみんながジャンクフードが好きなわけではない。周りの人からあなたの国の印象があるからといって。So, just because the people around in your country,
people around have a certain 印象, a certain impression of your country, what is something that is not necessarily correct just because of that impression? So they have that impression, and you know that everyone has this impression, but actually, that's not always the case. It's not always the case that that is true. It's sort of a weird way to explain that. But anyway, so we want you to tell us something that's not always the case, but that a lot of people around have an impression of your country having that thing happen.
Okay.
Great English, Andy. For example, 日本だからといって日本人全員がアニメを見ているとは限らない。Just because it's Japan doesn't mean that it's always the case とは限らない。All Japanese people, 日本人全員がare watching anime. アニメを見ているとは限らない。It's not always the case.
So, キプロスは島だからといって、島 is island のキプロスは島だからといって、キプロス人です。キプロス人海に住んでいるとは限らない。Just because Cyprus is an island doesn't mean that everyone lives by the sea.
アメリカ人だからといって just because they're American アメリカ人だからといって
みんなが
ジャンクフードが好きなわけではない doesn't mean that everyone likes junk food. So something like that, right? So a common impression people have of your country, country that's not always actually the case. This could be anything because
キプロスは島だ。 からといって、キプロス人、海で住んでいるとは限らない。
Most, I guess you could call them stereotypes, or, some of them are very frequently true and some of them are not when it comes to entire countries. I mean, it's entire countries. So obviously you could probably come up with a million different things, but please tell us one thing that everyone thinks about your country that is not necessarily true. Using kara to itte and to wa kagiranai together. Okay, here we go. So the next section is a new usage of
For the purpose
noni,
of.
which means for the purpose of
1, 2, 3,
something.
4, 5,
For the purpose of
6.
something. So, in
We are
order
halfway
to is
through.
another,
We're halfway through.
another translation
halfway
of this
through.
usage of noni. So, to use this version of noni, what needs to come before it is the dictionary form of a verb. That's all you have to know for now. The dictionary form of a verb must come before it. Now, what comes after noni?
In order to. So it's like tameni.
Is the dictionary form of a verb. That's all you have to know for now. The dictionary form of a verb must come before it. Now,
その
what
ジュースを
comes
買うの
after
に
it is quite important. We're going to have things
そ
like
のジュースを買うの
use,
に
tsukao, or need, hitsuyo, or
足りません
have
足り
enough
る
of, stuff like that. Because it's gonna be, in order to do something or for the purpose of. So
そのジュー
what
ス
comes
を
after
買う
it
の
is
に
also going to have to be a verb that's related to,
あと
that kind of
10
thing.
円
So
だ
you'll see through
あ
the
りま
examples
せ
that
ん
this is what I
足
mean.
り
So
ま
let's
せ
jump
ん
into a few of them. We've got そのジュース
そのジュースを買うのに
あと
あと10円足りませ
So,
ん
in order to buy that juice,
ジュース
I'm
I'm short
short
10
10 yen.
yen
In order to buy it. そのジ
そのジュー
ュース
スを
を買
買うのに
うのに。そのジュースを買うのに。Now,
あ
you
の
know the noni. I think we covered the noni in Genki, which is even though. So, そのジュースを買った
そ
のに。
のジュース買った
Even
の
though I
に
bought that juice, 金はまだある. I still have money. That's the kind of noni that I think we covered in Genki. So, そのジュースを買ったの
Yeah,
に。
even
まだ
though
金がある.
even
Even though
though
I bought that juice, I still have
But this one
money.
is different
But this noni means in order to buy juice. So the meaning is completely different, right?
It's like た
And
め
you can
に
basically tell from context, and also if it's the dictionary form before, that's a good indication that it's going to be this noni. And if what comes after it is 使います or 必要ある or 足りない
Ewin, how is it going? Still going strong this hour? Yeah. Today I was very sick. I don't know why. What happened? My throat was very sore. I couldn't. I slept. I slept during the day.
examples of verbs that will come
But
after noni.
it
We
was
also
tough
had
today. I don't know what happened. My sore. It's like I got sick. I don't know why.
便利だ so
My throat.
convenient.
My throat. It got sore.
役に立つ so useful.
And of course, my body is also very sore from the gym, which is very okay. That's understandable because I
かかる
didn't
so
go.
money is
But yeah, we still strong. We are still strong. We are never going to stop. 決して止まらない。決して止まらない。
it will cost a certain amount of money or a certain amount of time. It takes
い
a
つ
certain
で
amount
も
of time.
いつでも
かかる
続ける。
and things like that are going to come after this noni.
We
So
have
we'll
too
see
many.
使います come after the next one.
Maybe we
We've
have too many streams. Probably.
got ラーメン
But
や
that's not going to stop. That's never going to stop.
あ
Streams are not going to stop
を食
until 日本語を話せます。ペラペラ。
べるのにレンゲを使い
But
ます。
that's what's amazing.
レンゲ
That's
last week,
what's
and
good.
that's like a
It's a
China spoon,
challenge.
so it's made from China, not the country.
ラーメンやうどんを食べるのにレンゲを使います。
便利だ so convenient 役に立つ so useful かかる so money is it will cost a certain amount of money or a certain amount of time. It takes a certain amount of time かかる and things like that are going to come after this noni. So we'll see 使います come
but
up in
yeah,
the next one.
we
We've
keep
got
going strong.
ラーメンや
ラーメンやうどんを
食べるのに
食べるのに
レンゲを
レンゲを
使います。
使います。
レン
For
ゲ
the purpose of
last week,
eating
and that's a
things like
a
ramen.
China spoon, so it's made from China, not the country. You know, the actual porcelain. Porcelain is the word that most people use, I think. So porcelain spoon, basically, is what renge is. I'm just using renge in the English because it's not just any porcelain spoon. It's a very specific type of porcelain spoon that's used for the way that it's made. So anyway, ramen ya udon wo taberu.
Do you know what renge is, Iwin?
No ni, for the purpose of eating things like
ramen ya udon wo taberu no ni renge o tsukaimasu.
Ramen and udon. So things like, because we're using ya instead of to, renge o tsukaimasu. You use renge. Porcelain, special porcelain.
Renge o shite imasu ka?
Our next sentence is ネットフリックスを見るのに毎月料金がかかります。So in order to watch Netflix, you pay a monthly fee or you pay a fee monthly. ネットフリックスを見るのに Dictionary form. It's always going to be the dictionary form before this.
調べるのに
Always. ネットフリックスを見るのに excuse me, in order to watch Netflix
ネットフリックスを見るのに
料金がかかります。
毎月料金がかかります。
Fee is incurred might be a better way to translate かかります。Either way, it's the same meaning in the end. So 毎月 every month
わからないことを調べるのに In order to watch Netflix
わからないことを
調べるのにGoogle さんはとても便利です。Google
is very convenient.
Google さん Why is he using Google さん
For the
Google
purpose
is a
of
person.
searching for things.
Renge is the lotus flower. Wait, renge is a flower? It's something you eat with. Renge. Wait, renge is a character. In Japanese. Renge o. This is the renge. Wait, it could mean flower, but also could mean this is the spoon. The spoon you eat ramen with. Also eat them. The seed and stuff, okay. But the renge the Tokini Andy was talking about. So it means flower as well, huh? Renge. But the Tokini Andy was talking about this renge though. The spoon. Like you eat ramen with.
Things you don't know. わからないことを調
べるのに
The purpose of searching for things you don't know.
Google
さんはとても便利です。Google is very convenient. And yes, Google is referred to as Google さん. Most companies have san put after them when you're talking about them. Just a nice little quirk of Japanese. アイスパックはお弁当を冷やすのに役に立ちます。Cooling down your bento. Ice packs are very useful. Ice packs are very useful for cooling down your bento.
アイスパックはかわいい。猫はでもかわいいけどでも迷惑なる。とても迷惑なる。猫の名前は猫は名前がない。迷惑なる。名前は迷惑なる。Okay. Wait, there is
something. Obento.
Betsuno.
You guys know what a bento is, I think. If you don't know what a bento is, let me know in chat or just search bento in English and you'll know.
Okay,
ice pack is an ice pack. One of those things you put in lunch boxes. Yakuni tachimasu is
Mume, nameless. Mume-san. Mume-san は迷惑 trouble, yeah, 迷惑 Mume-chan. Mume-chan. Okay, that's a good name. Mume-chan. Nameless. Mume, it's a good name. Mume-chan.
Cooling down your bento.
Neko wa Mume-chan.
Cool down something. Obento, of course, is you guys know what a bento is, I think. If you don't know what a bento is, let me know in chat or just search bento in English and you'll know. Ice pack is an ice pack. One of those
ice
things
pack
you put in lunch
wa
boxes. Yakuni tachimasu is very useful. Next, その温泉は タオルを借りるのに
その温
500
泉
円か
は
かります。
タオ
As
ル
for
のに
that 温泉、その温泉は In order to borrow a towel, タオルを借りるのに
借りるのに
In order to borrow a towel, it costs 500 yen.
500円かかります。
その温泉は
その温泉はタオルを借りるのに
500円かかります。
500円。Okay,
Right.
apologize.
Let's jump into the dialogue. I'll read it slowly once, then at full speed. We'll break it down together and get to question time. All right. Andy says, 見て、
日本語を上手くなるように
これ
これ
を
を買
買っ。
った。
Kindle なんだ。
い
いね。
いいね。
どんな
どんな
本
本買ったの？
とりあえず、指輪物語とホビットの冒険にした。いいね。指輪物語の日本語版が難しそう。Kindle に日本語版がなかったから英語版にした。そうなんだ。じゃあ日本語の勉強するのに何を買ったの？てへぺろ。見て、日本語うまくなるようにこれを買った。Kindle なんだ。いいね。どんな本買ったの？とりあえず指輪物語とホビットの冒険にした。いいね。指輪物語の日本語版が難しそう。Kindle に日本語版がなかったから英語版にした。そうなんだ。じゃあ日本語の勉強をするのに何を買ったの？てへっぺろ。何も買ってないってことね。He didn't buy anything. 見て。Look. 日本語うまくなるように in order to become good at Japanese. これを買った。I bought this. So, you couldn't use のに here. うまくなるように. So, to become good at something or to become something, sort of as a set, なる comes with ように. So, if you have なるbecome something as the verb before this conjunction, you can't use noni. You cannot use noni with naru. If naru is the verb before it, you're going to use yoni in order to become good at Japanese.
日本語うまくなるようにこれを買った buy this.
これを買った。
I bought this. I bought.
Kindle なんだ。Oh, it's a Kindle. いいね。どんな本買った？ What kind of book did you buy? We've taken out the O particle just because it's in conversation, but technically the O particle does go here. どんな本を買ったの？とりあえず。指輪物語。The Lord of the Rings is called
指輪物語。
と、ホビットの冒険にした。I decided on
ホビットの冒険の下。
ホビットの冒険。
いいね。
指輪物語の日本語版が難しそう。The Lord of the Rings in Japanese. 日本語版。We call it 日本語版 or the Japanese version が難しそう。That looks difficult.
Kindle に
日本語版がなかったから英語版にした。That's true. There's no Japanese translation of The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit in Japanese on the Kindle. The English version's on the Kindle, and there is a Japanese version, but it's not on the Kindle. 残念。
そうなんだ。
Oh, okay. じゃあ、well then,
日本語の勉強するのに
何を買った
の？
What did you buy then in order to study Japanese? Tehepero is that face. That's what that face is. If you've seen that online, I don't know if you guys use Line. That's what that face is. Okay. All right. Question time. 何をするのにスマホを使っていますか？ネットショッピングをするのにスマホを使っています。朝起きるのにアラームとしてスマホを使っています。So, the question is, for what purpose are you using your smartphone? For what purpose are you using your smartphone? The first one is ネットショッピングをするのにスマホを使っています。I'm using my smartphone to shop online, or for the purpose of shopping online. And the second sentence is 朝起きるのに アラームとしてスマホを使っています。I'm using my smartphone as an alarm for the purpose of waking up in the morning. サムズアップを攻撃してください。And チャンネル登録
通じる。
お願いします。
そう、私の家族と通じるのにスマホを使います。
Please hit the スマホを使っています。
使っています。使っています。Okay, so yeah, this is the 30 minutes. Shall I make a present? Okay, I think we make a presentation. So KM did not attend today. So I prepared this presentation for him. But we're going to do it later, I hope. But also wait, before we do that, let's just do Anki as well. But Ewin, tomorrow, are you okay if we play Shin-chan? うちの猫の写真を撮るのにスマホを使ってます。Use my phone in order to take photos of my cat. That's a good sentence. Yeah. I want to make I'm available. Okay, so tomorrow is going to be only Shin-chan. I'm not going to do anything else. Only Shin-chan. Because Shin-chan is actually a very good lesson. Very good Nihongo lesson. I don't need to do anything else. Only Shin-chan. Okay, so let's just finish this and then make a quick presentation about Kiprosu no tabemono that we're prepared for KM, which yeah, KM couldn't attend today, but anyways, another day. So, 桜は綺麗な花です。
桜は綺麗な花です。
綺麗な花です。地下 basements. Yeah, a lot of new Nihongo. Yeah, a lot of new. I learned a lot. I'm learning a lot with Shin-chan. So it's a whole lesson. It's a whole lesson. 11分。
11分。
11分。I don't know that. Never seen it. 神戸。Okay, anyways. 山田さんですか？いいえ、違います。田中です。
山田さんですか？
山田さんですか？いいえ、違います。田中です。専門は美術です。My specialty is art.
専門は
美術です。今朝5時に起きました。早いですね。
今朝5時に
起きました。早いですね。Okay, let's just do N4 grammar point quickly.
私も純粋だったあの頃に戻りたい。
私も純粋だったあの頃に戻りたい。I was also pure. 純粋 pure. So 純粋hachimitsu. Iwin 純粋 means pure. So あなたは純粋蜂蜜を食べます。いつも純粋蜂蜜を食べます。You eat pure honey. 私も純粋だったあの頃に戻りたい。I want to return to those days.
今日やとは終わりにする。
今日やとは終わりにする。I want to end things with you, I think. 今日や。Yeah, it's the best. Junsui Hachimitsu. It's the best. It's very healthy. Honey is the best. I'm breaking up with you. I will end things with you. Kyoya is a name. Kyoya to wa owari ni suru.
きっと
多分 definitely, probably. I'm sure, somehow. I'm sure, somehow.
なかなか悪くない動きだ。
なかなか悪くない動きだ。He's moving quite well, basically. 悪くない not bad. His movement is not bad. It's quiet, not bad. His movement is quite good. Your movement isn't bad at all. Your agility isn't bad at all. 絶対裏があるはずだ。絶対裏があるはずだ。There is definitely something up. Definitely, something's definitely up.
東京駅なら逆方向ですよ。
東京駅なら逆方向ですよ。東京駅なら逆方向ですよ。東京駅なら逆方向ですよ。If you're asking about Tokyo Eki is the opposite direction. So 逆 opposite 方法ですよ is direction, I think. Not sure. If it's Tokyo Station you're asking about, it's in the opposite direction. 逆 all of it means 逆方向 opposite. So 逆 means opposite. Yeah, okay, exactly as I said. 逆方向。
そこの鐘の音と同じ音がするらしい。
そこの鐘の音と同じ音がするらしい。同じ音がするらしい。The bell over the sound is the same. It makes the same sound with the bell, with the sound of the bell over there. そこの鐘の音と同じ音がさるらしい。It seems to make the same sound as the chimes of the bell there. いや、王にする。I'll make you king.王にする。No, I'll make her the ruler.
俺みたいなやつが。A person like me? A guy like me?
どっちがちゃんとしてる女性に見える？
どっちがちゃんとしてる女性に見える？ Which one looks more feminine? Which one of these looks more feminine? Which of them looks more feminine?
ずっと言いたかったことがあるの。
ずっと言いたかったことがあるの。All this time I had something to tell you. There's something that I wanted to tell you for a long time. 喧嘩などくだらん。Fighting is meaningless. Is a loser sport. Is worthless.
そいつらと話すことなどない。
そいつらと話すことなどない。There's nothing I want to tell this guy. There is nothing I want to speak with this guy or something. I have nothing to say to him, to them.
あなたにさよならしなければならないの。
あなたにさよならしなければならないの。あなたにさよならしなければならないの。I must say goodbye to you. 子供が船なら。Kids are like, if children were a ship, if the kids were a ship. If a child is a ship. きっと多分 I'm sure somehow. Okay, that's done. Let's just do this quickly.
でも注意しないと。
but be careful.
人を殺すのは悪い
ことだ。Killing people is bad. Is a bad thing.
その時これがなければ困るでしょ。
その時これがなければ困るでしょ。If we don't have this by that time, we're in trouble.
名前ならもう私がつけた。
名前なら if it's my name, I already named it. 今日持ってきた。I brought it today. 見ないでください。Don't look, please.
あそこなら家から近いし。
My clothes, it's close from here. If you're talking about there, it's close from my house.
それがこの町のどこかにある。 それがこの町のどこかにある。
それがこの町のどこかにある。That thing that in this town.
冷静に考えてみてください。
冷静に考えてみてください。冷静に考えてみてください。冷静 means 冷静に考えてみてく冷静 I forgot what 冷静 means. 冷静に考えて try to think about 冷静 What's 冷静 I forgot. Just try to think calmly 冷静 of course. Please calm down and try to think about it again. 冷静に考えてみてください。
私を海に入れないで。
私を海に入れないで。Don't put me in the sea. Don't put me in the sea. Don't throw me into the sea.
冷静に考えてみてください。
冷静に考えてみてください。My throat is sore. Please think about it. Try to think about it calmly. 冷静 is calm, of course. So this one is 腹。
腰
No, it's 腰 lower back. That's 腹
腹
abdomen. And that's 腰.
腰
Okay. Face. That's 額.
額
Thigh, face, forehead. Okay. Hands and foot. 指の関節 knuckles. 指の関節.
指の関節
Okay, knuckles. All right. So we did our kanji, we did our sentences. Let's just quickly, very quickly make this presentation very quickly. So, 私の紹介は、今日は、私の紹介、キプロスの食べ物について。キプロスを味わってみたいですか？もしはいなら、一番おいしいキプロス料理を紹介します。I will present to you the tastiest キプロス料理。発表。私の発表。今日は私の発表は、キプロスの食べ物について。キプロスを味わってみたいですか？もしはいなら、発表の時間。just 早く、just quickly. So that we prepare when KM comes, we are prepared, we are just practicing. So that Mr. KM gives us a good grade, we are being good students. もしはいなら、一番おいしいキプロス料理を紹介します。キプロス料理ラジャー just like しんちゃん。キプロス料理、新鮮な野菜、オリーブオイル、ハーブを使います。キプロス、we use fresh vegetables, olive oil, and herbs. 健康的で美味しいことで有名です。It's famous for its healthy food. 一つ目料理、一つ目食べ物。Of course, もちろん is スブラキです。which is スブラキです。スブラキは串焼きの肉。It's a grilled meat on a stick. 串焼き is a stick, no? 串焼き forgot. 串焼き is a stick. 串焼き Yeah, 串焼き一番目 first 一番目 OK 一番目スブラキです。スブラキは串焼きの肉です。普通は鶏肉 It's usually 鶏肉チキンピーターパンと一緒に 出されます。serve with pita bread。pita bread とても美味しい。美味しいパンですね。美味しそうね。とても美味しい。スーブラキは一番キプロスの料理です。It's the number one. 一番美味しい食べ物です。2番美味しい食べ物です。2番はハルミ、of course、もちろん。ハルミチーズ、ハルミ is everywhere。ハルミ、スーブラキとハルミ is 一番食べ物。伝統的なキプロスのチーズ is traditional。伝統的 means traditional。焼いたり揚げたりできます。You can grill it or you can fry it. Grilled。焼いたり、ハルミチーズです。とても美味しい。パンやサラダと食べます。You can eat it with bread or salad. Or 一番美味しい method to eat it is スイカと蜂蜜とハルミは一番美味しい食べ物。スイカ which is watermelon. スイカ is watermelon, no? I hope I'm correct. スイカとハルミ How to write ハルミ I forgot. ハルミチーズ。スイカとハルミチーズと蜂蜜。一番ブレックファスト。一番朝ごはんですね。一番朝ごはん。スイカ。昨日の塩焼き、grilling fish, yamame, exactly, which is grilled with salt,思いますね。Yeah, we learn. That's what I found the word from. So yeah, we learn from Shin-chan. 新鮮で美味しい。fresh and tasty. So スイカとハルミチーズ。スイカとハルミチーズ。とても美味しい。と、蜂蜜、of course。蜂蜜。一番朝ごはんです。スイカ、ハルミチーズ、and 蜂蜜。It's nothing beats this breakfast. 朝ごはん。Yeah. これは私の朝ごはんです。OK。これはハルミチーズ。クレフティゴ。3番はクレフティゴ or クレフティゴ。ゆっくり調理されたラーム肉。ゆっくり調理されたラーム肉。It's made with lamb. It's with lamb. This is a lamb meat. かまどで焼かれます。baked in clay oven.かまど is a clay oven. とても美味しい。かまど is clay oven. クレイオーブンですね。So かまど焼かれます。means to bake. 柔らかくてジューシーです。It's very tender and juicy. 柔らかくてジューシーです。It's tender and juicy. とても美味しい。見て。とても美味しい肉ですね。4番食べ物です。シェフタリアです。シェフタリア。伝統的なキプロスのソーセージです。豚ひき肉やラーム肉で作られます。It's made with either 豚肉 or 鶏肉 or ラーム肉の鶏肉。ラーム肉。 網油で包まれます。包まれます。It's wrapped with 網油。次のスライドで、網油は、説明してください。説明する。炭火で焼かれます。It's grilled in charcoal. 炭 again 炭 is coal. 炭の町。Peter Pan sounds like Peter Pan, but actually it's Pitta with a double T. Should have been Pitta. Pitta Pan やサラダと一緒に出されます。5番食べ物網油は何ですか？ Because we said here 網油で包まれます。We wrap it with 網油。But でも網油は何ですか？網油は動物の胃を包む白い網のような脂肪です。It's the stomach of the basically it's the fat of the lamb's stomach. The stomach of a lamb, the fat. It's called fat cord. Web, it's web, because it looks like web, yeah. It's the fat of the stomach. So it looks like a web. Very 面白い。網油。It looks like a web. It looks like 網。面白いですね。So it's the wide net. Yeah, wide net. There is it. Net-like. That covers the stomach of animal. 動物。お肉を包むために使います。It's used to 包む。包む means to wrap. お肉を包むために使います。焼くと油が溶けてお肉がジューシーになります。When it's grilled with the ami abura, it makes it juicy. When grilled, the fat melts and it makes it juicy. So yeah, とても美味しい。シェフタリアはとても美味しい。一番食べ物です。私の一番食べ物です。シェフタリア。And 油 is fat.
油、
脂肪。
脂肪、
So it's net and 脂肪。網 and 脂肪。So net and fat. Net and fat, exactly. It looks like net and it's fat. So 網油。シェフタリア is 網油。この前の発表にあった。This is the other day. Literally, yeah. この前の the other day. 発表にあった。Yeah, the nutrition day, of course. 脂肪. We did fat and protein and this stuff. So, but I forgot it. Not going to lie, I forgot it. Now that you mention it, I remembered. When I was doing it, I forgot completely. I didn't even remember the kanji shape. But anyways, but now I remember. So, this one is goban. 5番食べ物です。5番食べ物はパストゥルマスです。パストゥルマス。とても美味しい。伝統的な乾燥肉。Is it dried meat? 乾燥肉 Is it dried meat? Dried meat 乾燥肉。Dried meat 乾燥肉。乾燥肉 dried meat. Dried meat. No, wait. Is 乾燥肉。乾燥肉。乾燥肉。乾燥肉。乾燥肉。dried meat. So, パストルマスは伝統的な乾燥肉。is traditional. 伝統的 is traditional. dried meat. 主に牛肉を使います。It's usually with beef. It's usually with beef. Or it's only with beef. 牛肉だけ。塩で保存されます。It's preserved 保存。I think we saw 保存 yesterday with Shinchan. I don't remember. But it's preserved with salt. クミン、ニンニク is garlic. ニンニク、クミン、ニンニク、パプリカなどのスパイスで覆われます。It's like covered with spices, paprika, cumin, garlic, and paprika. Yeah. 強い味と香りがあります。It has a strong smell and taste, which is very tasty. とても美味しい。サンドイッチや卵料理と一緒に食べられます。いや、6番食べ物はサマレッラです。サマレッラとても美味しい。again 全部食べ物は美味しいですね。伝統的なキプロスの乾燥肉 again dried meat また is 乾燥肉 means dried meat ヤギ肉から作られます。ヤギ肉 is a goat. Any meat with cumin is really tasty. Exactly. もちろん So ヤギ肉 is goat meat. ヤギ肉牛肉ヤギ肉鶏肉豚肉塩とオレガノで塩とオレガノで保存されます。It's preserved with salt and oregano. I like putting it on chicken together with sweet paprika, other stuff as well. Yeah, it's とても美味しい。But this one is like fresh meat. But this pasturmas is a dried meat, so it's left for weeks, for 1 week, 2 weeks. I don't remember how many weeks. So it's preserved. So the cumin and paprika and garlic are used to preserve. But yeah, spice がとても、大切。スパイスはとても大切。太陽の下で乾燥します。It's left to dry under the sun. 太陽の下で乾燥します。Left to dry. Dry it, yeah. Like mosquito, yeah, exactly, yeah. Left to dry under the sun, or yeah, for days or weeks. Maybe even months, I don't know. 自然的 means fresh. 自然的, wait, I wrote it here, I think. 新鮮 no, 新鮮 means fresh. 自然的 means natural. 新鮮 is fresh. But yeah, so 7番食べ物はメゼです。メゼは、副菜です。副菜 means side dishes. Nature, yeah, 自然 is nature, of course. I know 自然 yeah, but I keep forgetting 自然 is also used in a lot of words, a lot of kanjis. But yeah, 面白い言葉です。So yeah, メゼは副菜です。副菜は is side dishes. 小皿料理がたくさん。It's basically 小さい 料理ですね。小さい料理。たくさん小さい料理。5皿料理がたくさん。ディップ like this one. サラダ、サラです。肉、魚。ザツキ、of course, もちろんザツキ。which is タシキ in Japanese. オリーブなど、オリーブ、大切。家族や友達と家族やnot 家族や友達と分け合います。It's shared with family and friends. 甘いものはとても美味しい。Again, 甘いもの。ルクマです。揚げ団子のデザート is fried sweet. It's like sweet fried. And yeah. 揚げ団子のデザート。蜂蜜とナッツをかけます。It's like eaten with honey and nuts. Almonds and stuff. 団子。団子。ルクマです。is eaten with honey, of course, and almonds or, usually almonds. Nuts. And the second 甘いもの is シュシュコス。シュシュコスはブドウと夏のブドウ is grapes, of course. ブドウ is grapes. ブドウと夏のお菓子 is, there it is, this one is ブドウ, this one is grape, made from grape, and this one is 夏 which is almond as well. アルモンドはブドウジュースに浸します。It's made with, is dipped in grape juice. ブドウジュースに浸します is to dip. So, yeah. これ、でも、もっと食べ物があります。でも、私は、このだけ食べ物を紹介しました。そう。お時間をいただき、ありがとうございます。これは、私の発表。これは発表だった。面白いね。いろいろな作ってみたい。Thank you very much, Ewin. So the only one thing left is to present it to KM, of course. これはキプロスの食べ物です。とても美味しい発表だった。very tasty 発表。Hopefully. But I hope one day, wait, I don't know what I was going to say. But yeah, anyways, これはキプロスの食べ物です。今すぐ食べたくなる。I am becoming hungry as well. I really want to eatシェフタリアnow. シェフタリアとても美味しい。シェフタリア、クレフティゴン、ハルミはとても美味しいですね。スーブラキン、とても、everything、全部美しいです。But yeah, let's just end it here. Ewin, tomorrow we play Shinchan. Only we play Shinchan, okay? Shinchan を遊ぶだけ。Only play Shinchan, okay? So, thank you very much for listening to my 発表。私の発表ありがとう。私の発表の聞いて発表、ありがとうです。So, yeah, また明日。And おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい。Let's work together tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for today and let's have fun tomorrow again. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I will prepare for tomorrow. No, there's nothing to prepare. Just we just play and have fun and learn as well. So yeah, bye bye and I can't wait for tomorrow. また明日。おやすみなさい。Bye bye. Bye bye. All right.